So let's take a look at problem number 9. Jack used cubes to make the right rectangular prism below. Notice the key tells us that each one of those cubes is 1 cubic inch. He then made a smaller right rectangular prism using 1/4 of the number of cubes. What was the volume in cubic inches of the smaller right rectangular prism? So, this is a little bit different because they're asking you to find the volume of a different rectangular prism. But in order to do that, you need to know the volume of the first one that he made here. So notice it says he then made a smaller right rectangular prism using 1/4 of the number of cubes. So again, a sentence is something that will be very helpful, okay? And it says their volume was blank cubic inches. So let me just go in and change that. The volume was cubic inches. So when we take a look at this problem, we know that the very first thing that we need to do is find the volume of this original prism. So whenever we are going to be finding volume, we know that we need to work with a formula. And remember that we want to have our formula, we want to have our substitution, and we want to solve. So I know that there are 2 formulas for volume. I have the volume is the area of the base times the height, or I can use the formula volume equals length times width times height. It doesn't matter which formula I use, but I do need to be able to figure out the length, the width, and the height, or the area of the base. So I'm going to find the length, the width, and the height of this rectangular prism. So when I look at my length and I look across the bottom, I know that I can count my squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that my length is 8 units, or 8 inches. Because remember, it told us that each one of these, this is 1 inch, this is 1 inch, and this is 1 inch. Okay? So now I'm going to take a look and I'm going to find my width. And I can see that I have 1, 2. I have 2 for my width. Equals my W, and L equals 8. And then the very last measurement that I need to know is I need to know my height. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 layers. My height is 4. So now I have the numbers that I need to use. I know that I need to use my formula, and I'm using the length times width times height formula. I know that I need to substitute, so let me substitute the numbers in that I found. I found 8 for my length, so I'm going to replace my L with 8. I found 2 for my width. I'm going to substitute 2 in for my W, and I found that my height was 4. So I did my substitution. I now need to solve. I need to figure out what this equals. So when I use my order of operations, I know that 8 times 2 is 16, but I still need to multiply by 4. And 16 times 4, if I need to, I can do that work off to the side. And I would find out that 16 times 4 is 64. So I know that that rectangular prism is 64 cubic inches. Now, I could have also found the area of the base by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I could have also used that V equals the area of the base times height. And like I said, the area of the base was 16 times 4. And again, I would find out that that would be 64 cubic inches. It doesn't matter which way you do it. You do need to know both, because sometimes you will only be given the area of the base. You will not be able to figure out the length and the width. So now I know that this prism is 64 inches cubed. So I now need to go and find the volume of that smaller rectangular prism. It was 1/4 of the number of cubes. It was 1/4 of the 64 cubes that I just found to be the volume of the original prism. So again, notice that I have 1/4 of 64. I have a number in front, 1/4, and a number after, directly after, 64. I have in front of the word of. So I know that I need to multiply. I need to multiply 1/4 times 64. So I can definitely multiply using fractions. If I wanted to, I could also use a tape diagram for this problem. I'm going to show you how we can use a tape diagram for this problem. I know that my whole is 64, and I know that I need to divide it into fourths because of that denominator 4. And I need to know how many is in one of these. So again, I could do 64 divided by 4, and I would find out, bring down my 4, I would find out that there would be 16 in each one of these, and I would only need one of them. So this would be the 1/4 that I would look for. If I multiplied my fractions out over here, you would see that I would come up with that same division problem of 64 divided by 4, and I would find out, either way, that the volume was 16 cubic inches. And does that seem reasonable? Yeah, it does. Because if I think about it, 60 divided by 4 would be about 15. Great.